Hello my fellow developers, in this video we're going to create the store switcher that the seller can use to switch between stores. So this component is something that already exists in Shadc in UI in a kind of form that we want to, and we can copy it as code and just customize it. So if you go to Shadc in UI and if you look right here into the components that are already pre-built, you can see right here we have this component right here. This is a popover that has this component right here. We can say it's a popover, and then it has this trigger that you click on to open, and also it has the popover content, which what we have right here, and then we just have a command list right here between the things here, and we can use search, etc. So this is a component that already exists, but we're not going to copy it fully. We're going to take only the stuff we need so we can create our own version. So what we need to do right now, I'm going to go back to my components, and then inside the sidebar I'm just going to create a new one. I'm going to call this store switcher .tsx right here, and then first of all we need some popover trigger props. Okay, so we're just gonna copy them, and let me import this from component UI popover. Okay, this one has the property class name, but we need to define the interface for our store switcher. It has the stores, okay, as a record of an array, and then also it extends the popover trigger props, and these props, they have other props like class name, etc., that we will also use. So I'm just gonna go export, and then actually I'm just gonna add this as this way. So I'm just gonna go const and then store switcher. What am I copying? This store and this switcher. I want this as an arrow function, so I'm gonna do this way, and I'm gonna go fc from React, and I'm gonna add the store switcher props right here. And this arrow function right here, we can extract the props, we can extract these stores from here, but also there is other stuff that's extended from the popover like class name, so we can get class name also right here. And to remove the arrow, we need to return something. So for now we're going to return a div right here. Okay, so the idea is very simple right now. What we need to do is just simply have a popover. So instead of this div right here, we're going to have a popover which is going to be coming from the UI components, and this one is going to have the what we call it, the open. So this is the open state. If it's open, it's gonna be the state depending on the state we have. So let's create that state. So I'm just gonna go here, I'm gonna have const and then open and then set open right here, and I'm gonna have a use state. So for the use state, by default is gonna be false. Okay, so by default is gonna be false, and then also this popover right here takes the where is it, the set open. Well, actually, does it take the set open? It actually takes on open change. So this is when we change. So what we're gonna use this set open to change the value. So this is the value of its open. In the beginning is gonna be false, so it's not gonna be opened. Okay, but when we click on it, it's gonna use the function. So it's gonna run the function on open change, which itself changes the value using the set open. So this one is gonna become true, and that will open it. Okay, so that's kind of very simple to do. What we need also to do inside of this is just simply from the documentation. So I'm not doing something crazy by myself. So this is going to be the trigger now. So this one is going to be as child because it's inside of the components itself. And then right here we're just going to have a button, and we need to import it from component UI. This button is going to be variant, and it's going to be outline. Okay, and then after that, the size here, we're going to pass the size, and then the size is going to be small, and then role right here, we can pass the role, which is going to be combo box right here. After that, we're just going to add two other properties. Let me just copy them because this is getting boring. Just the area expanded and also the area label. Okay, they need us to add them, so we just have to add them. We have to comply with what they want. And then for the class name right here, I'm just going to add a class name for this one. And the class name, I'm just going to use cn right here. And for cn, we're going to have our classes, which is the width is going to be 250 pixels. And then we're going to have justified between, and then also I'm going to add the class name here. So if you pass a class name to the trigger button, is going to add it right here. So inside this button, first of all, I'm going to have this store icon. Okay, so we can just go right here and get the store icon. We can get from Lucid React right here. So this one can take a class name and we can customize it a bit. So we're going to have margin right to be 2, and then also we're going to go to the width and make it 4, and also the height to make it 4. This is for the store icon. And right here is going to be like choosing our the name of the store. So right here should be the name of the store, but we don't have it yet. For now, let me just have store example, because we still didn't add that, but I'm gonna add the logic, of course. And then after that, we're gonna have another icon, which is the arrow down. So this icon is called chevron up down. So this is it. And then for the class name, I'm just gonna copy the class name. It's very boring, so I'm just gonna take that here and paste it here. So it's gonna have margin left auto, and then the height and the width same as the other one, and then we're gonna make the opacity to half like that. So this is for the popover trigger. Now we need the content of the popover. So when it's opened, what's gonna show is gonna show this content, and the content that we're gonna show, so we're gonna have a class name for this one, which is gonna be the same. So the width is gonna be 250 pixels, so 250 pixels. Let me remove this one from here. What else we're gonna have? We're gonna have also the padding to be 0. So this is for the content. And now we're gonna have a comment list. Okay, so as usual, we have done this before, so you know this. So when we map to the link of the sidebar, this is how we did this. We just have a command right here, components, and inside of here we're just gonna have a comment list component. So this is very familiar with you guys. And then simply now we're gonna have the comment inputs that we use to search. So right here, the input, and then for this one it takes a placeholder, if you remember. So we're just gonna add that placeholder here, and then for the placeholder it's gonna be search stores, okay, like this. Oh, sorry, stores like this, and then something not showing. Also, if we don't have any stores, or we trying to search and we couldn't find anything, we're gonna pass the command empty components right here, and this command empty component, it's gonna just simply show no store selected, okay, like this, or found. So now we need to add the comment group. So I'm just gonna add a group right here. So inside the comment list still, we're gonna have a comment group right here that takes a heading. So the header, so let me import this first so we can get the props. So for the heading right here, it's gonna be stores, okay, like this. And then inside of here, we need the stores. So we're gonna pass these stores with, you know, the stores how they are, but we need to format them, okay? We cannot have the stores that we want to. We need to format them and get only 2 things, okay? That's this command list will take, which is gonna be the label and the value. The label is the name of the store, and the value is gonna be the URL of that store. And when we choose a store, we're gonna redirect you to that store using the value, which is the URL, okay? You can name it whatever you want to, but I'm just gonna have label and value. So we can just go right here, format. We can just go do it. Actually, we need to do it inside of the components. So we can just go do it right here, or maybe before. I want to do it before. So we're gonna format the stores data. Okay, so I'm just gonna go const and then format the data, and simply we're gonna go through the stores. This is so easy. We're gonna map and then simply through every single store. And what we need to do is just simply return what? We're gonna return 2 properties, the label, which is gonna be the one that we are actually mapping through, which is the store, and then dot what. So for this one is gonna be the name of the store, okay, and then the second property is gonna be label, okay, and then for the label, if you don't get the values from here, you can add the store property from Prisma clients, and now we can add the URL here, and then actually, what's the problem? Actually URL, okay, and yeah, it's not gonna work because we have to actually keep the same type. We can't do that. So let me remove that. That was a dumb idea. So I'm just gonna, it's already removed the scope. So for here is gonna be the value, and the value is gonna be store.url like this. And now we have this formatted items. First of all, I forgot to export default, and then store switcher like this. So inside right here, what we need to do inside the group, I told you we need to map to the formatted items that we got. So we're gonna go formatted items dot map. We're gonna get the store, so every single store right here. What we need to do is just return a command item. So command item from component UI, it takes the key for this one, which is going to be store dot, as you can see, we have the label and value. You can have the value right there, and then also on select. So when we select this component, we need to trigger an event, and this event is going to be a function that we will create, which is going to be on store select. So when we select a store, that's mean when we click it, when we select a store, we need to run this function, and we're going to send that store there. Okay, that's very important, and this function is quite easy to create. It's just simply gonna use the router to push to that store. Okay, it's very simple. So maybe we can create it right now because it's very easy. So const and then on store select, and then in the naming of the functions, I always want it to be like this. So I'm just gonna look for it and change it also this way, and now come back here. And then simply this one is gonna take the store, okay? And as you can see, the store, we can extract those values directly. We're gonna have the label and the value. So the label right here is gonna be string, and also the value right here is gonna be string, like this. And for this function right here, all it does, first of all, we're gonna close the popover, because now we're gonna actually select a store and redirect. So we're gonna make this false. Okay, and now we need to redirect. So we need the router. We can use redirect, but also you can use router. If you want to use router, you just simply go, I'm gonna have it right here like this. You can just go const router and then equal the use router, as we are on the client side. So let's use the use router from Next navigation like this, and we can use the router dot push. So right here, I'm just gonna use the router and then dot push, and we can use back6 right here. So we're gonna go to / dashboard. Okay, if you remember, the / seller, then stores, then the store URL, and the store URL is gonna be the store we already extracted the values there. So simply we're gonna go, as you can see, the store right here, we have it. So we can go store and then dot value. So now when I select an item, it's gonna redirect me to / dashboard seller / stores, then the store URL, which is the way we intended to do this. Okay, and then right here for this one, I'm gonna add a class name here. The text is gonna be small. Okay, so text small, and then also we're gonna have a cursor pointer. Don't worry, everything is gonna make sense. I'm just gonna go and actually try to show it. So we can go back to our layout. In the store URL, we have this layout right here. So in the sidebar now, we pass in this store, so I can go there. So, and we can have this like just here. Okay, before the sidebar menu, we can just say if it's not admin, so when we're not the admin, and also we have stores, then we can actually show this component, which is going to be store switcher. Okay, and then simply let's pass these stores here. Sorry, stores, and simply like that, stores. Okay, so we don't have any type issues. Oh, we need to extract it from here. So we don't have any type issues. Okay, that's cool. Now if I go to my browser and go to my application, I will have an issue because I'm using a client side hook. I need to actually go and add the use clients right here on top. So we're gonna go back to the store switcher. I'm gonna go back on top. I'm gonna add the use clients right here, and then go back, and that will fix it. As you can see, we have it right here, but because we're not selecting any store now, we will do the logic, don't worry. But for now, as you can see, store example, and then right here you can search etc, but we need to show the store's informations there. Okay, so right here we're going to show the store informations. So all we need to do is just show like an icon and then the name of it. So right here inside the command item here, we just can have the store icon again, and then we can add the same class names we added before. So class name, so class name is going to be margin right 2, and then the width to be 4, and then also the height to be 4, and just under that we're just going to have the label, so which is the name of the store, so store.label. And if you go back right now, if you go there, you can see the name of the source. I've created another store, so we created the first one, and then this is the second one. Now look what happens when I click on shop. It's going to redirect me to that. Okay, so stores / shop. If I click on Amazon, it's going to redirect me to that with the proper URL. The URL is changing, if you can see right now. And we can actually now check if we are actually redirected, because we're gonna have the name of the store right here instead of the store example. Just bear with me, we're gonna go one by one, and then we will get it, so you don't have to worry at all. So we'll actually, it's not really hard. We can actually just get the current store right now. So the current store is just simply can go right here, and let's do it where maybe we can do it right here. So we can just say get the active store, for example. So the active store, and then we can go store, and then we can go const, and then active store right here. So all we need to do is to go through our formatted items right now, and we need to find right here, and then we need to find which one. which is the one with the value. So right here, as you can see, the value is the URL. So we're going to check if that value, which is the URL, is the same as the parameters we have in the URL, because if you remember, we are using this parameter right here, which is called store URL. So we can actually just compare the value right there with this dynamic value right here, which is the store URL. And if it is the same, that means it is the active one. We can just use the find function to find that. So right here, when we defined the router, we can also define the params. So we can just go const and then params. We are now on the server, not on the server side, the client side. So we use the use params right here. We don't have access directly to it. We need to use it this way. So when we do it this way, I can actually just now go back to my function. Where is it? Not this function. So yeah, the find function, and just simply we're gonna have the store right here, and we're gonna check if the store dot value is actually equal to params, then dot what, dot the store URL param we have there. Okay, and that will get us the active store. So the active store is going to be just simply that. So now instead of this store example, I can have this store, active store there, dot label, which is the name of it. So now if I go back right now, you will see we are selecting that store. So we have this. Now if I select the other one, so shop, you will see it will select it. As you can see, even if I refresh, it's still going to be there, because that changes also in the URL, as you can see. So that works. That's very nice. We have that. So now we can also use that to make sure it is the active one, right? It has like a check icon right here. So to achieve that also the same, we can just go under the store label, and then I'm just gonna have an icon which is called just check from Lucid React, and this one simply is gonna have a class name. So I'm gonna go and add a class name right here. My voice is actually gone. I've been recording for hours and I'm really tired, so we can use CN right here, and then the class name is gonna be ML Auto here. And then the height is going to be 4, and then also the width is going to be 4. So it is the same. And then right here we can just simply have a test. So for the test right here, we can apply these classes, or actually I'm gonna, if just simply right here, you can just add. So by default it's gonna be showing. Okay, so by default the check value is gonna show on all of them, because now we've added it directly. So if you don't want to add it directly, what you can do is actually just add it right here to be hidden, or make the opacity right here to be 0, and then right here you change the opacity to 100 if this condition is valid. And the condition, as I told you, is gonna be the current not the current user, the current store right here. Where is it? The active store, we called it active store, and then dot value is equal to what, to the store right here dot value. If it is the same, now we're gonna show it. So you can do it this way, it's up to you. So now as you can see, the one selected is Amazon, so it has this check icon right here. If we are selecting shop, it's gonna have that there. So this is how you do it. Is pretty simple. So we need to go at the end. We're gonna have a footer. So in the command, we're gonna have a separator right here, and then in the footer, I'm gonna have just another button that says create store that you can click to create another store. Whoa, I'm really tired, guys. So you just bear with me. It's like 6 a.m. in the morning. I still haven't slept for 2 days of the amount of work I have. So just bear with me if I sound a little bit off. I'm very sorry. So we're gonna go with the comment separator right here. And then just simply under that, we're just gonna have another comment list right here, list, and then inside of this one, I'm just gonna have one comment item. So comment item for this one, just one, and this one simply is gonna have the text create store, and we can add a little icon next to it. So the icon is gonna be this plus circle icon from Lucid React, which will get installed by default when we install Chatsain UI. For this one, we're just gonna have margin right 2, and then for the height is gonna be 5, and the width is gonna be 5, like this. And then now all we need to do is we're gonna go to this item, gonna add a class name to this one. The class name is just gonna be a cursor pointer, okay, because we're gonna click that, and then when we click that, we just simply has to call the router.push function method to actually just push to the create page. So right here, when we select this item, so on select, which is the same as on click, so on select right here, we're gonna have an arrow function. All it does is just set the open false, because now we're gonna close the popover, and then after that, all it does is just simply uses the router hook, then push method, and then we will push to the / we need backticks right here, need backticks, then / dashboard, and then /seller, and then /source, and then new. We didn't need the backticks. I'm just to sleep you. We just gotta go to a very fixed link right here. It's not dynamic. Okay, so now let's go back, guys. So now when I do that, now I have the list of these stores, and I can click on the create store. When I click that, it's gonna take me to the new store page right here, and as you can see, this is very beautifully done. I can switch between them very fast, and that's the most important thing about this application, is that it's the performance wise, it's actually awesome. So that we have done that, you can see this is looking amazing. Even on the light mode, you can see everything works. Sorry for blinding you again, but it is work. I hope you learned something. This kind of components is very nice with Chat in UI. You can create this nice popover trigger that you click to open the popover. You can search, for example, if I search for Amazon, I can search. If I search for something that doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. And also right here for the search functionality, it does work. So if you search right here, it also does work. Okay, so that's beautiful. Yeah, so for this video it's done. Now we can continue with the rest in the next video. Sorry guys, and hope you learned something new, and see you in the next video as usual.